Even as a child, I noticed there were some folks for whom life and career seemed to flow easily. People for whom money, success, effectiveness, and reputation seemed to spring up without conflict or effort. Spiraling patterns is another way of saying not meeting force with force, looking for a third, three-dimensional component. It's a very particular way of expressing out-of-the-box thinking. I think of myself as a conduit. I am a student of the martial arts. I am a student of a long, multi-thousand-year Asian tradition. It's important to recognize that I have no feeling of ownership of material. What I have is a sense that I've worked toward my own understanding of stuff, and I find that to be useful in helping people apply it to their lives. Step up, stomp, and step with it. This package of wisdom, this way of looking at the world that people take away from a class where they've been studying how to use a sword, how to move their body this way or that way, how to relax, how to deal with an incoming energy, and they go, wow, I wonder if that would work when I have an argument with my wife. I wonder if I could persuade my daughter to have a new approach to her swimming lessons if I did it like that. I wonder if my boss, who's always hammering on me, might be more effectively redirected if I used this kind of an idea instead of the other. So from that point of view, people see life coaching in the wisdom. Remember, we live in a speed and greed culture. We are inundated as organisms by information flowing from all angles, and most of the time we are looking to duck and run as opposed to flower and be open and self-express and self-actualize. And now drop down. The left elbow points forward. Anything worth doing is worth doing slowly. The second thing is reprioritize. By putting what you really, truly in your heart believe to be the most important things, not what you're told are the most important things, but by what you really in your gut believe are the most important things. By putting those things first, you have a little cascade which begins to trickle down into all areas of your life. I've always felt that, done well, really good fiction is the highest art form for a writer, and so I've wanted to do that. I just had my 10th book come out, The Crocodile and the Crane, this month. Fiction just provides the opportunity to remake the world as I would have it. And this disquiet, this sense that I had that we talked about earlier about, that things aren't quite right in the world somehow, led me to want to create worlds in which they were right. And I think a lot of writers say that. And I do that in writing novels, where I take this wisdom and I coat it in sugar so that when it goes down, you don't even know you took medicine. You're going, wow, that's delicious. And then later, after you've spent an entire plane ride not even getting up to stretch your legs because you have to find out what happens next, or you're up all night because you just can't, you got to find out what happens. Not until later do little nibbles of the message and the situation and the world that I created there, channeling, being a conduit to this old stuff, they come back knocking on your head, going, wait a minute, remember how this guy did it, or remember how that girl did it, or remember how that unfolded. I wonder if, maybe I shouldn't be looking at this thing the way I'm looking at it. Maybe I ought to be looking at it this way. It's true that there is a big difference between pugilism, learning how to fight, and martial arts, which are and have been historically like calligraphy and painting and flower arranging and a whole host of other pursuits, a path of self-cultivation. So what has emerged is that these other dimensions of the training, the health dimension, the self-confidence dimension, the philosophy dimension, the self-reliance dimension, the self-exploration dimension, all of that, what can I really do? Who am I really? What are my fears? What really makes me tick? How do I feel when I'm confronted with overwhelming force or when I'm asked to or forced to do something I don't want to do against my will? How do I react? How do I handle that? What do I feel inside? How can I do that better? Because life is going to have times when I am asked to do or forced to do things against my will. All of that is a hot forge in which the steel of a person is made. And it helps a lot regardless of whether your circumstances are comfortable and safe or edgy and difficult. I should take this moment to make the distinction between Tai Chi and Taiji Quan. Quan means fist. The things that I've been talking about have primarily pertained to Taiji Quan, the martial art. Tai Chi, without the Quan, without the fist, is a way of living. And a succinct way of putting that might be to say, I like to learn how to create the harmonious interplay of opposing forces. This is interesting because while the straight sword gets us to think about listening and following, this one gets us to think about how can we move and change with circumstances once we are committed to action. People learn globally from what we call martial arts practice, but really is life practice. And so we have the Chinese medical benefits helping all kinds of medical conditions from diabetes to arthritis, to ADD, to asthma, to autoimmune diseases, and on and on and on. We have the martial arts dimension, useful in learning how to conduct yourself in the world physically. And we have the philosophy, which gives you new ideas about how to handle your world. Look for an opportunity, for example, inside a business meeting, for little breaks. Get the sense of the rhythm of the meeting. Look for a little hole, a little place where you can create that space for yourself. And the space may be even a bathroom break, or just when somebody's changing a PowerPoint presentation, when there's a lull in the conversation. Go into, take a deep breath, maybe even close your eyes for a moment, where everything is empty and relaxed for you. And when you do that, you open the door, you unlock it, you open it, and stuff starts pouring in.